Miss Dance Mom Jill VERTES. And yes, this is Jill on top of the pyramid. Jill VERTES was born on August 15th in 1965 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In 1993, Jill got married to Erno, and together they made 3 beautiful daughters. The firstborn being Riley in 1995, Charlotte in 1997, and of course, Jill's little Kendall being born in 2002. In 2012, season 2 of Dance Moms, Jill and Kendall basically stepped into the spotlight of Dance Moms and ended up sticking around for 5 unforgettable seasons. Jill and Kendall ended up leaving Abby Lee Dance Company, and they made a whole entire new group with some of the other girls going through the same drama. The Irreplaceables. The Irreplaceables obviously competed against Abby and other dance companies and ended up leaving in 2017, obviously the season finale of Dance Moms. If you have watched my last 4 videos, you know that the Irreplaceables went on tour, and obviously Kendall was a part of that tour. But if you don't want to watch that because you watched my last 2 videos where I literally already talked about this, then you can just jump to this time right here, because this is when I'm going to start talking about her life after the Irreplaceables. But if you want to stick around, that's cool too. Basically, in late 2017, Kendall, Kalani, and Chloe all went on this huge Irreplaceables tour. In the year 2017, they traveled all over North America to like 15 different cities. Within the main show, you get to watch a 75-minute stage show with obviously choreography chosen by the girls, Kalani, Chloe, and Kendall, which feature different like contemporary and jazz numbers and all of the above. And then at the end of the main show, I believe that you got to do a Q&A session. If you decided to get the VIP meet and greet package, then you got to do all the things in the main show, including a photo op with all 3 of the girls. You got to do a pre-dance workshop, you know, warm-ups and choreography breakdowns, led obviously by Chloe, Kalani, and Kendall. During all of this, Kendall is still a minor, so Jill was obviously accompanying her child during this whole entire 2.5 years of this really intense dance tour. They went international with their tour, traveling to like 4 or 5 cities in Australia and New Zealand. They went to the United Kingdom, Ireland, Peru, and Brazil is basically when it all came crashing down. Although this tour was super huge, Jill still had a little bit of her own life. Other than doing the tour in 2018 and 2017, Jill was still there to support her other children's accomplishments during this time, spending more time with like obviously family and her dogs. She even had time to partner with many different brands during this time, like the Flat Tummy Company, some promo, and partnered with the Quick Flip eyeliner
called the Quick Flip. It's amazing. Let me show you how it works.
She partnered with Care of Vitamin, and she even partnered with Boombot. This one stands out more than the others because she was actually partnered with them for the next 5 years after that. In 2017 and 2018, Jill was basically just touring with the Irreplaceables all over the world, still spending time with her family and supporting the accomplishments of her other 2 daughters, and just fulfilling all of her duties with all the brands that she's partnered with during this time. 2019 Jill. So 2019 Jill pretty much moving on from the Irreplaceables tour, but in this 2019 year, a 59-minute documentary about the whole entire Irreplaceables tour came out this year. It obviously covered behind the scenes of like everything they did on tour, particularly why they were in Peru. And she did one other standout thing that I feel like nobody even knows that she did. I didn't even know that she did this when I was researching, but she was a part of a short film. It was on rivnow.com. I don't know if you can still access it, called First Timers, and Jill played the mom in this. I don't know, just very interesting. I don't mean that in a bad way or a weird way, just interesting. Kind of like when Holly was literally in the Nutcracker on stage as a character. So yeah, I don't know much about this short film, but she played the mom in it. I could low-key see Jill being an actress. Anyway, closing up this short 2019 year, Jill is just obviously recovering from being on Dance Moms for like 5 years, and now she did this Irreplaceables tour. So 2019, that's pretty much all she did career-wise, because she's probably freaking exhausted from like the last 7 years of her life. So she's definitely spending time with her fam. Obviously, Jill, we did her promo for Boombod.
Get yours now.
Jill Vertes in the year of 2020. One incredible thing for her career happened in this 2020 year.
Something exciting to announce.
But here's a clue.
It involves a few moms from Pittsburgh.
Can you guess what it is?
And that is Because Mom Said So. If you watched literally any of my past videos, then you know what Because Mom Said So is. Because Mom Said So is a podcast that Holly, Jill, Melissa, and Kelly all created. And I really enjoyed this podcast. Obviously, they talked about all the things under the sun of being like a mom, all of the Dance Moms experiences. They interviewed different people and talked about what they did during their careers. They gave like behind the scenes stories of things that happened before Dance Moms. They gave advice. They talked about the things that they liked. It was just a chill podcast. For the most part, Jill is just attending to her family, attending to being a wife, being there for all of her kids. She's still nurturing her partnership with Boombod. In 2021, she came back on our screens on TLC. Jill and all three of her daughters got to be featured on Say Yes to the Dress for obviously her daughter's wedding, Riley. This was so exciting to watch Jill on. And let's just say that she was pretty interesting in the things that she said. I don't know. I don't know. Jill is a trip. And I mean that in the best way. Like, she is so entertaining. Jill got to go on Say Yes to the Dress, which is pretty funny. Other than that, Jill just has a pretty chill life at this point. Like, obviously she's still doing influencer-esque things. She's just doing her little podcast and being a mom and just being a part of the Dance Moms history. Moving on to both 2022 and 2023 Jill, and she's still nurturing and attending to her podcast Because Mom Said So, coming out with all those new episodes all the time. She's still nourishing her partnership with Boombod. She's of course still spending exuberant amount of time with her family, attending to their needs, being a wife. And she also in 2022 or 23 sent her youngest, her little Kendall, off to college. I'll obviously get into that when I do Kendall's video, but Kendall ended up being a Duquette and Jill was pretty hyped about that. Focusing on 2023, Jill, Melissa, Holly, and Kelly all decided to come out with a whole entire brand new podcast called Pink Water Lagoon. Subscribe. Came out with a new podcast called Dear Dance Mom. Dear Dance Mom is a little different from Because Mom Said So in many different ways. One, it features a Patreon, extended episodes on that Patreon. You can watch the video version of this podcast on the Patreon through a monthly subscription, obviously.
We're excited to announce that you can watch us each week on Patreon.
I believe with Dear Dance Mom, you get to attend a live Zoom meeting once a month. The vibe of this podcast is more about the fans and fan questions.
Dear Dance Mom.
For our listeners, about our listeners.
This December that just passed, Holly ended up leaving that podcast. So Dear Dance Mom is still a podcast now today, but now it's just Kelly, Melissa, and Jill. Moving on to the exciting year of 2024, two more cool things happened in this 2024 year. Starting with her being featured on the Dance Moms reunion. Kendall and Jill were on the Dance Mom reunion, and I don't really have much else to say about the reunion. I thought that the questions could have been much better. And the one other thing that Jill did in 2024, that's coming out with another podcast called Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk features Jill, Melissa, Kelly, and Christy, another Dance Mom, a part of all of this Dance Moms lore. 4. This podcast is a little different. Pillow Talk has its own website where you can access their 3 different seasons. And in season 1, they basically did a rewatch podcast of the Dance Moms New Era show that just came out that year. And basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. Jill, Kelly, Christy, and Melissa all basically sit in bed in their little jammies, just give their opinion and talk about what they just watched. And they're pretty much on the 3rd season by 2025. She's still nurturing and doing Dear Dance Mom, still obviously being a wife, attending to her kids and their needs. Even though they're grown, she's still there for them. Oh yeah, so it's 2025, baby. Let's get into it. 2025, Jill Vertes has completed 2 more seasons of Pillow Talk. Season 2 of Pillow Talk, all of the moms basically did a rewatch podcast of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And it's basically the same vibes as season 1. Season 3 of Pillow Talk came out in 2025, and this is basically a rewatch of Abby's Ultimate Dance competition. Jill is like having a rich life. And when I say rich life, I'm obviously not talking about material stuff. I'm talking about just the love that she has within her family, the camaraderie, the spending time with them. And then she has a group of friends that she does like a podcast with and gets to enjoy that time. And obviously she has like other friends that we don't know about. Just want to shout out to my 300th subscriber, my coworker Alyssa. She gave me this, my birthday. But yeah, she gave me this flamingo stuffed animal because the mascot of Pinkwater Lagoon is a flamingo. My other friend Danny from my birthday, she got me a whole bunch of other cool stuff, but she literally got me a Dance Moms like pouch, which I think is so iconic because I'm doing this series right now and because I love Dance Moms. This is actually the other gift that Danny got me for my birthday. It's a John Stamos Have Mercy shirt. As much as I love Dance Moms, I love Full House and being one of the faces for the brand Bombard, for the brand Boombard. Jill, Kelly. So that pretty much sums up Jill's career in life, and not the pop. As we know, season 2 of Pillow Talk, all the moms who are a part of season 3 of